Contrast uncut, yeah, you know that's us. Where we only speak the real and the real rock with us. Where we motivate the people and politic on success. Oh no, we ain't DJ Khaled, but they swearing we the best. Contrast uncut, contrast uncut, contrast uncut, contrast uncut.
What's happening? It's Contrast Uncut. It's season 5, episode 2. I want to give a big shout out to Uncle Snoop's Army and Bobby D Presents. I appreciate you, brothers. It's your host, Zylo, and today we have a really incredibly dope special guest. He's originally from Los Angeles and raised in Miami-Dade area. This brother is a content producer and creator, the CEO of Crazy Hood Productions, a mix master DJ, a mixtape legend. He's the creator and co-host of Revolt TV's Drink Champs. That's 5 year plus in the making, and also the creator and host of Fatherhood podcast. That's 2 powerful podcasts that are one of my favorites to log into. And I mean, it's a talk show that provides hip hop culture, amazing stories, and elevating conversations. And if you ain't know who's on the show by now, it's all good. We get all episode to chop it up with DJ EFN. Everybody, how you doing, brother?
Yo, what's good, man? Thank you for that introduction. I appreciate that.
All love, man. You know, time's the most finite thing we have on this earth. So I gotta tell you from the jump how much I appreciate you for fucking with me, fucking with the viewers and the listeners. Thank you, bruh.
I like that shirt, that Miami shirt.
I was just out there, bruh. So I had to copy it and then be like, oh yeah, I got the interview coming up. And
dope.
For sure. Speaking of time, DJ EFN, what's a normal 24 hours for you?
So like you mentioned, I have a show called Fatherhoods. So, damn, my bad. So Fatherhoods, is that cutting you off there, brother?
No, we good.
Okay, because I got a call coming in. So anyways, being that I do Fatherhoods podcast, that means I'm a father. So my 24 hours is nothing but children. Sorry, brother. Talking about fatherhood, I got my girl calling me about my kids. So anyways, my 24 hours is this, man. I wake up, I deal with my kids. My daughter just started preschool. I got a baby as well, so I'm dealing with the baby, changing diapers, doing all that fatherly duty stuff. Ooh. And you got to take these emergency calls from about the kids. So yeah, my 24 hours, man, I wake up, I'm changing diapers, I'm saying goodbye to my daughter who's going to school in the morning, and I'm on the phone doing as much work as I can in the middle of all that. And then, and then I head over to my office / studio early, late mornings. And then I get busy in the studio. I do, Zoom calls like this, conference calls, work, strategize on future projects, negotiations, you name it, I'm doing it. And then believe it or not, I try to hit the gym to release some stress. And then, and then I go back home and it's like the morning all over again now with the kids. and throughout the whole day, I'm multitasking, on my phone or my laptop, trying to keep business floating. But that's my 24 hours right there, man. Ooh. If I'm not doing Drink Champs and if I'm not traveling, that's a regular day.
Whew. From one dedicated father to another, I want to shout you out and give you your flowers for being a dedicated father. Because just for people to understand that this brother is changing diapers still and getting the kids off to school while still maintaining business and living his dream. That's a sleepless dream to reality.
Well, I mean, what's it all for if it's not for your seeds, for your kids?
Right.
Once I had my children a little later in life than all my homies. All my homies were young fathers, had kids, but I had the eye on the prize, man. I wanted to do this music thing and be an entrepreneur and go out there. And I knew that if I was going to have kids, they were going to be my priority, which, rightfully so. So I held off as long as I could to have kids. And then once my kids came into the picture, they are number one. There's nothing over my kids, no business and not nothing. So
that's right. No, I respect that, brother, because a lot of people get those things mixed up. Their priorities get a little misconstrued on what the eye on the prize should be once things get readjusted and a baby comes to life.
Yeah, man. Life is too short, man. Those those early years with your kids are crucial, man. And some people say, you know, oh, they're young, they're not gonna notice me gone. Nah, man. If they don't notice it, then you should be worried about you noticing it gone.
Come on. I just spent my first like road trip gone. I did a lot of traveling before my kids were born. And then I have a 7-year-old and a 4-year-old, 7-year-old son, 4-year-old daughter. And my first time spending 2 weeks away. And as soon as I came home, I mean, they hugged me for like 5 minutes each. They did not want to let go. And
Yeah.
I grew up without a father. So having that feeling of like releasing that energy, I was like, man, this stuff is crazy.
Yep. Yeah, my father wasn't around very much either. And so I know the importance of being present, you know?
Facts, facts. Bro, I got a quote. I know this quote's going to relate to you, but let me know if it does or if it doesn't. I try to go with the spirit when I grab these quotes. Here we go. Goodness and hard work are rewarded with respect. Uncle Luke, Luther Campbell.
Yeah. That's absolutely true. And come on, man, you talking about Luke from you know, my backyard, man. That's an icon and a legend, not just for Miami, but for the culture. And so that's absolute truth right there. That definitely resonates.
Especially for Uncle Luke, he had to face a lot of hostility from his word choice and how he wanted to have the music perceived versus the vibe in Miami is just that. It's asses out, it's titties out, it's a vibe, it's love, it's a whole transparent energy. And his music definitely described that. And he fought so hard for his love and respect because we were trying to give it to him from the streets, but the entertainment took a while. And you start off as a mixtape king.
Right.
And so, I feel like you guys had a lot of relation in building the brand and making sure people understood what Miami was about.
Yeah, man. We were always in the early, when I say early, for me, it's like the early 90s to mid 90s. That's when I'm really getting started. And it was a thing to try to put Miami on the map, on the hip hop map. Now, Luke and them and Two Life Crew, they did that. They put Miami on the map. But a lot of people saw like eventually the evolution of what they were doing was called Miami bass music and booty music. And so the hip hop side, which was, trying to like push the lyrics and a certain sounding production that accompanied those lyrics, wasn't a thing that was Miami was known for and respected. We weren't really respected in that aspect. So that was something that my side of things was trying to push, without any disrespect and still understanding the contributions and how important Luke and Two Life Crew and all those guys were, because I always tell people that in that era of Two Life Crew, you couldn't tell me a difference between Run DMC and Two Life Crew and Beastie Boys and these guys, because it was all like the same scene going on. It's just different lyrical content. But, to me, they were all the same, you know what I'm saying? So it just fast forward when Luke left the group and he started doing stuff, he wasn't an MC. So his stuff was more about the beats and the booty shaking and the dancing, which is a big part of our culture, big strip club culture out here. So that was a side of Miami. But then, then you had the other side that we were cultivating, which was like, we wanted to be known for some lyrical stuff and tell you what was going on in Miami on a lyrical standpoint. And that was, it took a while for that to really take off for us.
Ooh. So as we're talking about the rich history of Miami, I got to know about your history, talking about the entertainment game. Did the game choose you or did you choose the game?
Oh, that's a good question, man. I mean, I'm gonna have to stand up and say the game chose me, because I really didn't see anything calling me but music and the industry and the culture. I mean, they're all different things to me. Like there's the culture, there's the music of the culture, and then there's the industry that pays you off of what you do in the culture. So those are all three different entities that people sometimes confuse them as one thing, and they're not one thing. And once you understand that, you can kind of see, what it is, what the culture, what it means, and what the industry does for the culture, for and against the culture. Because obviously it doesn't vibe with sometimes what's good for the culture. But yeah, man, it chose me, man, and I didn't see any other options for my life at the time, and I thank God, man, because the music saved me in so many different ways. The music and the whole culture as a whole saved my life. I feel like it saved my life. It was kind of like my father that wasn't around. It kind of raised me and taught me some of these things that my mom unfortunately couldn't do. For a young boy growing up. And hip hop did that for me.
What was your confirmation that your space in the game was supposed to be there?
Oh man, I don't know, man. There was no confirmation. I just said, you know what? There's an opening here where we need to like like I was explaining before, like Miami wasn't respected on a national level in terms of like the type of hip hop I was listening to at the time. I was, whether it be N.W.A. Public Enemy, or even fast forward a little bit more Wu Tang and Nas and all this stuff, and even Outkast. Like I felt like Outkast didn't get enough respect at the time. Like the South wasn't getting that respect that we wanted, and our scenes weren't looked at as real hip hop scenes at the time. So my whole thing was I saw an opening to help build the scene up, be a part of helping it, and building it up, and it was so young at the time that I felt like, okay, there's an opportunity there for me and my crew to actually contribute to the local scene. And that's what we did. And then more specific to me specifically, I saw as a DJ like what lane was open, and nobody was really doing the mixtapes heavy out of Miami, but we were definitely consuming all these mixtapes coming from New York. And those mixtapes, although they were dope and we listened to them, they wasn't really saying stuff that we could relate to in terms of like just the titles of the mixtapes or the artists they were putting on in the mixtapes, like doing freestyles from their underground artists from their, from New York. And so I wanted to do that for Miami. Like I wanted to put mixtapes out that had titles that reflected Miami. I put on underground artists from Miami, and that way kind of start to build that pride in Miami.
So you filled the void. You took your passion.
Definitely tried to, yeah.
Oh no, you did, brother. Because a lot of from that perception that you broke down, you don't realize that it goes down in Miami. There's definitely a thug tier that gets torn every so often or throughout the day. Really, it smacks in Miami. Like, it's gun happy, it's stand your ground law. So it's a lot that could potentially happen. So I get exactly why that spotlight wasn't there and it needed to be there. And
right.
From there, I feel like you filled the void. You took your passion to your purpose and exercised your gift, turning your instrument of a voice and your ear, and you attracted wealth, inspiring the world with the way you think and communicate. At some point, a law of attraction met your vision and manifestation came out. Can you speak a little bit on your manifestations to where we're at today?
Yeah, I mean, I always did try to like envision what it meant, like what was success. But at the same token, I always kept an open mind to be able to pivot to get to the end goal. Like I really did like see clearly what I wanted to do and how I wanted to represent and how I wanted my brand to be represented, and what I wanted people to see my crew like, and what light I wanted us to be seen in. I saw that vision very clearly, and in that sense, I manifested that. But I also was open to like, okay, yeah, in the beginning, we just want to, we want to make music. We want to be a record label. We want to be a group, put out an album. And we think once you do that, you're going to go platinum and that's it. Boom, you made it. That shit don't happen. There's only like 1% of artists that actually make it. So then once we start to see that that's not going to really be the end result that's going to make it all work, then we got to start to pivot, and we got to either decide quickly, like, how do we keep making music if the music's not necessarily making the money? How do we do things within the realm of the brand and in the culture that feed that side of it, keep the dream alive? And so we started to look around us, and that's when, we started to make our own clothing brand. We opened up a clothing store, a hip hop clothing store. We started doing marketing and promotions. I started consulting people once I got a lot of experience in that world. And then fast forward to podcasting, like I started to do things that it wasn't a part of my original vision, but I adopted these things and pivoted and was able to just move in different directions, all at the same time, keeping it all tight to the original vision, if that makes any sense.
Oh yeah, because you got a tree and roots of everything that you've been involved in your whole life, and then you got branches to these new opportunities. It just makes sense to let these new leaves grow. And hey, they'll fall off and create a whole new seeds to a whole new following. And honestly, that's where I jumped in. It was like, man, who is EFN? This brother is talented and he's gifted. He understands things on this side, but he still applies pressure on this side. And that's something that I was attuned to. And I was like, how did you end up on the production side of entertainment? And I know you transferred the heat and you built that, you gave that life to that new branch. But what made you comfortable doing podcasts?
Again, it was just trying to figure out other lanes that would keep us moving forward, because in the creative space, let's not just say not just music, in any creative space, it's easy to lose hope. It's easy to be like, well, this didn't work, and now what do I do? This is all I do. All I do is make music. That didn't work. All I do is I'm a painter, and my paintings ain't selling. Like, whatever in the creative space, if that one thing doesn't work, a lot of people get stuck. But how can you do other things, that are like complementary to that thing that you started, and that's I was always looking for like you said, other branches to grow from the tree, but making sure that it was cohesive to that tree trunk. And that it always looked, you could always relate it to the brand, Crazy Hood, DJ EFN. It always made sense of the brand. And I always thought that even the stuff that didn't work, we'll revisit that in the future, and it's gonna work. Like, for example, right now, a lot of the music that we made early on maybe didn't sell a lot of records, but now, I'm selling bundles of gear, and people are hyped because we're including signed copies of those old albums, and they're looking at it as part of Miami hip hop history. Like, to me, that's how you come full circle. Like, that original project didn't do well at the time, but now people, like, they want that signed copy because it means something now. And then I don't know if I answered your question, but that's that's the way I think, man.
No, it's all good. It's about adapting and understanding how to make that leaf grow, that make that new branch grow.
Yeah.
You dropped a huge gem in there. That was like a 25 karat gem you just dropped. Smack them in the face, or if the bling just hit them in the eyes, they got to put it on rewind and listen to that again, because that was power. And something you have to learn through this game is how do you get money, power, and respect, and at the same time give it, because you have to be received. And I want to make sure I give you a congratulations on the 5th year anniversary. Last month with the Fat Joe episode dropped and set it off for Drink Champs, the premier podcast and talk show powered by Revolt TV. It's one of my favorites to watch and not watch on the clock. You hear me? Like, that's something you can watch countless hours. It's timeless and timeless. Just so much game, so much interesting conversations. More or less, it's one of those things you could just get lost in. What was the vision for Drink Champs and filling that void?
What was the reason for it?
Yeah, like, what was the reason, the vision? What was the purpose putting that out there for us to enjoy and continue enjoying? We want another 5-10 years out of y'all if we can get it. I know them kids will get older. They're going to start going to high school. You're going to have to be there for the games. I don't know if we're going to get that, but shit, we got hope, damn it.
Right, yeah. Let's hope our livers don't give out first. But I mean, me and N.O.R.E just wanted to do something. I mean, there's a whole story to how we got to podcasting, because we were doing a satellite radio show a few years before Drink Champs on XM and then Sirius XM. But once we got to the podcast side, it was just N.O.R.E and I we just enjoyed sitting on the mic and talking to each other over drinks and having the homies there and just shooting the shit. And that was just something we just enjoyed doing. And if there was any way, this was my goal, at least, if there was any way that we could do that and bring in a little revenue, then I was going to find that way for us. And that was doing the podcast. So once we did the podcast, we decided quickly, like, we want this to be an outlet for a lot of these artists, that we deem to be legends. And a lot of these artists that aren't necessarily, current right now, they're not considered relevant, but, they're relevant to us. And so, the newer artists, they can go on promo runs and go anywhere, but we want people who are not on promo runs. And that's what we say, we're home to those people. It doesn't exclude everybody else. It just says we're home to this group of people. And if other people want to visit us, we welcome them as well. But this is the home to those guys. And that was the drive behind, wanting to do Drink Champs.
As a dedicated father, I lean on your Fatherhood podcast as well for insight as a father. As I mentioned earlier, I grew up without a dad. He passed away when I was 4. So when being a father and a parent, you sort of reach in the dark with certain times on how to grow and how to do the right thing. And I got to make sure I tell you, I appreciate you for putting that content out and millions of other fathers to relate. And I gotta ask the same type of question. Like, how did you, KGB, and Manny Digital come together for this show to be so transparent and open to us for us to grow with you?
I mean, it started with me, having my first child, my daughter, and like I said, a lot of my friends already had kids, and so I'm starting to get nervous. Oh damn, I'm about to be a pops for real now, and I started hitting them up. Like I found myself calling my friends and just asking for advice or what do you think? What is this that? So then, again, I'm always thinking of other things that are relatable to my life, to my brand, and one of the things was I'm already in the podcast space. Why don't we turn these conversations that we have in organically, with the questions that you have that probably a million other fathers have, but speak it in a language that we understand within our community, and also take away that stigma that men in hip hop aren't good fathers or don't care to be fathers. Take away that stigma, which has never really been true. And so boom, Fatherhoods was born with my two good friends, and we just, we love doing it, man.
That's right. That's right. No, that's real inspiration and motivation, because it sets the standard of, hey, there is someone talking about something that I didn't realize people talked about. You got several books inside the stores, but that's it. and who really wants to sit there and read the books? And if you can have some people talk about some real shit, that's more relatable than a fairly fairyland of what they think should be right.
Right. Absolutely, man.
So, brother, I feel it's always someone that invests in an idea or puts someone in a position to reach their dreams. Who do we owe to thank you for investing into your dreams?
Oh, I mean, there's definitely been a lot of people throughout my career that have in some way, helped me out. I would say like going further, furthest back, even though my pops wasn't in my life very much, I still got to credit him for helping me get my first official turntables. So that's a big deal for me. He helped me get my 1200s when he finally came back around when I was a little older. And then after that, there was a homie called Alfonso who used to do marketing and promotions for Priority Records and then some of these record labels. And and actually before that, I kind of like stepped to him because he had a little record label and he had a group and they were pressing stuff up on vinyl, which at the time was a big deal. And so I was like, yo, man, can I just like shadow you guys? Can I intern? Can whatever? I just want to learn game. And so shout out to him because, shadowing those people and kind of interning for them really, got me some experience that I carried over to my company and building and helped me build some confidence in terms of having that experience. And then fast forward a little bit more, man, like I always credit N.O.R.E as one of the first national artists to like really consistently start lacing my mixtapes, which made a huge difference in my mixtape series and me being taken seriously as a mixtape DJ coming out of Miami, because all of a sudden I had one of the hottest artists at the time, national artists out of New York coming now, and he's dropping exclusive freestyles and drops for me on a regular basis. And I could always go to the next artist and be like, well, you want to be on this mixtape? I already got N.O.R.E on the mixtape. And they're like, oh shit, you got N.O.R.E. Like that did so much at the time for me that I always felt, that I wanted to return that favor or give back to N.O.R.E in some kind of way, which I feel like it came full circle because I was able to be a big part of his resurgence. And so N.O.R.E, man, as well.
I gotta ask, brother, because I just came back from Miami and I want your perception. What's one thing people got messed up about Miami?
I mean, definitely Miami Beach is not Miami. That's number one. South Beach, Miami Beach, whatever. We have a saying: if you want to go to Miami, cross the bridge. And I would just say also that everything, like what's really Miami, is crossing the bridge, but also is the multiculturalism of Miami, man. Like people don't understand how, that we have, Haitians and Jamaicans and Cubans and Colombians and Venezuelans and even Russians in this motherfucker. Like there's just so much that Miami has culturally that makes up this gumbo that is Miami. And that's what really is the pride of Miami and what makes us special, not just one ethnicity or just the fucking beach. It's everything else.
Right, facts. No, so you guys have one of the most beautiful art districts in the world. Wynwood go crazy.
Yeah.
And shit, the food, man, it's just
And Wynwood, and let me tell you, Wynwood was the hood on, you know, in the early 90s. That was the hood. Like that's where, you know, but that's where us hip hop heads at that time, one of the few places that we would go to hip hop events was because Zulu Nation. I don't know if you're familiar with Zulu Nation, but Zulu Nation, they had a chapter that was in that area, and they used to throw park jams. So all the hip hop kids from around the city would go to Wynwood, and this is like, you know, I'm talking about, you know, you had the crackheads, the crack dealers, and then you had the hip hop heads. that's the vibe that, and then that eventually turned into the art district because it was such a fucked up area at the time that the graffiti artists could do whatever the fuck they wanted in that area, and they would have murals. You know, they could do whatever they want. The cops wouldn't really fuck with them. And that's why that became the launching pad for an art district, because the art was already there.
Organically.
Yeah.
Hey, that was a powerful story right there. I did not know that. What has been your most rewarding moment so far in the game?
Really, man, just being able to help and put in position some of my friends, man, and my homies. And even if not put them in a position where it's like necessarily they can, you know, benefit off of or chase a certain career in the music industry. A lot of my homies, you know, just being able to allow them to experience something, because, you know, a lot of people, you come into it with a crew of people, and then the crew starts breaking apart because you start to realize quickly, like, if you're doing this, you know, legal shit, trying to make money in the music industry, it ain't really paying the bills. So those crews fall apart because not everybody can make money, if anybody can make any money. I've been really lucky in life that I have my crew is just an amazing crew of homies that I've had since high school, and the ones that started to you know, back off because it wasn't paying bills, they went off and made their own careers. They went back to school or they opened up businesses, but they still crew. So one of the things that brings me the most pleasure is being able to say, hey man, like you're not in the game like that, but you know, you're still a part of the company and part of the crew. I'm gonna take you to go to Drink Champs when so and so's there. You know, you're gonna go on this trip with me, and you're still gonna experience what you would have experienced if you would have stuck in there with me. You know, because that to me brings me the most pleasure. You know, because they without the support of those people behind me, my family, my crew, my Crazy Hood crew, I wouldn't be here today.
No, salute the Crazy Hood crew. Salute. From all of the episodes you have done, I mean, Drink Champs and Fatherhood, I'm talking about that's so many episodes we talking about. I know it's like picking babies. What are your top 3 shows you have done?
Well, unfortunately, the DMX episode recently is you know, is in the top, and I wish it wasn't. You know, I mean, it would have been had he been alive, but me and N.O.R.E would gladly give back every fucking view, give back that episode if we could have X with us today.
Facts.
You know, but that episode, the episode with Mike Geronimo was powerful. And I always love the ones with comedians, man, because there's nothing better in life than laughing. So I would say like I mean, all the comedians are great. Like Mike Epps was hilarious. I'll go with that one for right now. It changes up depending on my mood, but the comedians on Drink Champs are the best ones, man.
Come on, they let go. They are free.
Yeah, they are.
So, brother, I gotta know what's next, because I know you're always on the turntables of changing up the sounds, changing up the scene, and getting the vibe right. You know what's something that's coming up next?
Well, I've been working on this documentary series, and I've been working on it for a while, called Coming Home.
Yes.
Where I travel to different countries and I explore those countries through their hip hop scenes.
Award-winning Coming Home.
Appreciate it. Yeah, no, yeah, definitely, man. We've been doing those films independently since 2012, where we filmed the first one in Cuba, and we're finishing up our 6th film right now, which is South Africa. So that's the next move, because I'm in constant negotiations and conversations with different folks to take those films to the next level. I've been doing them independently, but I'm ready to you know, make a bigger move with them and do something bigger and better with that series. It's definitely a passion project. Like everything I do is really a passion project until it's a revenue bringing project. So So look for that. You know, obviously Drink Champs is going to continue. Fatherhoods. I produce a bunch of other podcasts. A podcast called Lost in Translation. I got my homies got a podcast called The Grumpy OGs. We got all kinds of products and things that I'm involved in, whether it's beers or Colombian White, which is a aguardiente liquor, that's known in Colombia that we're bringing over here to the States. I got micheladas coming out. I got all kinds of stuff that I'm working on, and everything Crazy Hood, man. We got a brand of gear and all kinds of stuff.
Come on, I'm looking forward to it. We all looking forward to it, bro, because you don't put nothing out there unless it's right. And a lot of people forget what right look like. And if you fuck with the EFN, you'll know what right look like. Brother, you have survived my show, and as a reward, you've already listed out a lot of stuff, but anything you want to shout out, let them know where they can find you.
Yeah, they can check me out. The company is Crazy Hood, crazyhood.com. And then Drink Champs, everything Drink Champs on social media. And you can check me at Who's Crazy on Instagram, at DJEFN on Twitter.
Hell yeah, that's right. Run that shit up, everybody. Run it up. And now, brother, if you notice, my show is a little different. It's a little unique. They said I had to have segments over there, so I did them, but I don't do segments like them. I'm like, how do I keep that same energy and close out? The viewers knows it's coming. I'm going to hit you with it. You got any questions for me?
If I have questions for you?
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, what you drinking these days?
Hennessy or Douce.
Oh, okay.
I'm a dark.
All right. And what equipment you using to record this right now?
Oh, this is a MacBook Air. And shit. Basically, I take this and then I go Adobe Pro and run it through there and chop it up and spit it out.
And lastly, what are your goals? What's your 10-year plan, brother?
10-year plan is just to continue to elevate, progress daily. That's it. You plant a whole bunch of seeds and hope that they grow and bloom as much as you can put sunlight to them.
Sounds good.
Now, I appreciate you, brother. I greatly do, man. It's Contrast Uncut. It's season 5, episode 2. I want to give a big shout out to Uncle Snoop's Army and Bobby D Presents. I appreciate you, brothers, because I wouldn't be able to do incredibly dope shit like chop it up with DJ EFN about his history. And this brother let them gems fly. He had such incredible diamonds going that you would thought his mouth was full of diamonds and his tongue was just an accelerator of just gems to accelerate to your minds. Thank you so much, brother, for coming on and being transparent and just giving the history of not only Miami, but yourself and the elevation of what it takes to plant something and watch it grow.
Appreciate you, man. Thank you for having me, man.
Boom. One last thing, bro, before you go. Can I have you do a drop?
Yep. What do you need me to say again?
Say your name and say you're tuned in to Contrast Uncut. And if you want
Contrast Uncut, right?
Yeah, that's the name of the show.
Okay.
And if you want to shout out Snoop or Bobby D, I greatly appreciate it.
Okay. Ready?
Yes, sir.
What up, Snoop? What up, Bobby D? You're listening to Contrast Uncut. This is DJ EFN, one half of Drink Champs, Crazy Hood Productions, straight from Miami, Florida. Let's go.
Hey, boom. It's a wrap. Hey, I'm doing a documentary on Second to None and their whole history. Oh. I heard you say earlier that you guys do look for those artists to come on the show. If there's any way I can get Second to None on Drink Champs, Gangsta D, his mother just passed away.
Oh wow!
I think that would be something that would really get his light up. We stopped production for a little while because his mother got sicker, and so it's just I think that would be something I would throw in there. If any way we could have those stars align and we could make that happen, plant the seed. Let's get it grown.
Yeah, man. Let's just stay in communication, man.
Absolutely, brother. All right, on that end, man. Blessings on blessings, King. Appreciate you.
My brother. Thank you. Thank you, brother. Have a good one, man.
So.